Are you planning to go on a trip this summer? Maybe you're considering going to Japan.
Or are you looking forward to seeing the Great Wall of China?
Or maybe Germany is part of your bucket list this summer.
But wait, before you reward yourself for an out-of-the-country trip, here are some things to remember before traveling.
Guten Tag, Guten Abend, Guten Morgen.
If you're planning to fly and see the breathtaking views of Germany, then these are the things that you need to remember. Germany is the center of Europe, not only geographically but also in terms of politics and economics. The country is the second most populous country in Europe after Russia, with more than 80 million people according to the World Factbook. The German economy is the largest on the continent and the fifth largest in the world. While German exerts its influence on the countries that border it, namely Austria, Belgium, Czech Republic, Denmark, France, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Switzerland, and Poland, all of these cultures have, in varying degrees, had a hand into shaping today's Germany. The population of the country is 91.5% German, with Turkish being the second largest ethnic group at 2.4%.
The remaining 6.1% is made up primarily of those Greek, Russian, Italian, Polish, Serbo-Croatian, and Spanish descent. About 75.7% of the population is urban. The do's and don'ts in Deutschland. Try to get straight to the point at hand. Germans generally do not need small talk to warm up conversation. They appreciate it when others are direct. Avoid canceling on a German at the last minute or being late. If you are expecting to be arriving late, just make sure to always let them know. Ask a German's permission before taking pictures or video of them. When making plans with your German counterparts, make sure to give all relevant details to ensure clarity. Do not press a German to revise their decisions on their matter if they have already given you their response.
You should also be aware of the communication taboos in Germany. First is that small talks are a big no-no, since conversations in Germany are focused more on the substance of the topic and even genuine interest. So shallow conversations like small talks aren't really needed. Number 2, did you know that compliments aren't really common in Germany? This especially should be avoided during business protocols since it only causes embarrassment or discomfort. Speaking of gestures, smiling to strangers are also frowned upon in Germany. However, this kind of gestures are reserved for close friendship or family. Firm, brief handshakes at the time of arrival and departure are standard. Also, remember that the OK sign should be avoided in Germany. Great! Now you're ready to take that trip to Germany.
Cheers!
Ni hao! China is a country that is rich in culture. That's why it is important to keep these things in mind before visiting the country.
China is one of the 4 ancient civilizations alongside Babylon, India, and Egypt, according to Chinese scholar Liang Xiao. It boasts a vast and varied geological expanse, not to mention its 3,600 years of written history, as well as a rich and profound culture. Chinese culture is diverse and unique, yet harmoniously blended, an invaluable asset to the world.
China's national heritage is both tangible and intangible, with natural wonders and historic sites, as well as ethnic songs and festivals included. China has several traditional festivals that are celebrated all over the country in different ways. The most important is the Chinese New Year, then the Mid-Autumn Festival. China, with its 55 ethnic minorities, also has many ethnic festivals.
The do's and don'ts in China. Do greet others by using a handshake or a nod. Bows are best saved for your trip to Japan or Korea. Don't offer a too firm of a handshake. A firm handshake could be construed as a sign of aggression. Do join in on toasts. It's considered polite to join in on each toast and to even stand up during formal gatherings. Don't go straight for a hug, especially when meeting someone for the first time. Any contact apart from a handshake could make your new Chinese friends uncomfortable. Do take off your hat when entering temples. This is done as a sign of respect.
There are also communication taboos in China. The Chinese will nod or bow slightly as an initial of greeting. Handshakes are also popular. However, you should wait for your Chinese counterpart to initiate the gesture. The Chinese do not use many gestures or demonstrate expression when speaking and will become completely annoyed with someone who does. Emotions are repressed and humanity is virtue, so avoid displaying emotional or boastful behavior. The Chinese will not directly say no to you. Instead, ambiguous answers such as perhaps or I'm not sure, I'll think about it, or we'll see usually mean no. Just note these things and you're good to go. Zien.
Chihuahua, visiting Japan also means indulging yourself with their culture, so why not get to know about it? Japan is a nation consisting of more than 6,000 islands. This staggering number of islands, along with its temperature and distinct four seasons, combine to make a country with many varied and interesting local cultures.
Even though Japan, much like other neighboring East Asian countries, has been influenced by China and Chinese culture since the classical times, ever since United States ended Japan's long period of relative isolation in the 19th century, Japan has been open to and embraced the Western culture from regions like Europe and North America. While learning from other countries, Japan has also retained its own unique and beautiful culture.
There are also do's and don'ts in Japan. Punctuality is necessary when doing business in Japan because Japanese believe it is rude to be late. Don't burp at a table. Unlike some Asian countries, burping is rude in Japan. Don't lift large plates off the table to eat out of them. Please do mindful of personal space and physical contact as many people highly value their personal and physical distance. Do show humility and modesty. In Japan, it is a polite gesture to lightheartedly disagree a compliment from someone. But remember to not give exaggerated compliments to someone.
The following are some of the things that are considered communication taboos in Japan. First, it is a taboo to point with your fingers. So instead, use your whole hand to point out something. Avoid displaying unusual facial expression and motioning in ways that are considered dramatic or expansive. Avoid using sarcasm as it is not part of the Japanese culture. They would only end up not understanding what you're trying to convey. Lastly, try not to have a prolonged eye contact when talking to somebody, since it can be considered rude in Japanese culture. That's it. This ends our presentation. Remember, traveling should always be fun, but it is also important to show our respect towards other people's culture. So knowing a country's practices or do's and don'ts should always be on your to-do list when traveling. This has been Group 5. Thank you all so much for your time.